Hey guys, and welcome to another Vortex Server Let's Play. Today is episode 4, and before we get started building our Lodestone, hopefully we can finish, but yeah, before we start building it, I'm going to show you the finished product and some changes that I made. So, here it is. Okay, bird's eye view. The sun is always going down. And then all 4 corners are finished. The change was pretty large that I made. If you guys saw the back side of this, which what I went for was a curve, which I kind of got that curved look. I like it. I think that does the trick. But then last time in the back I had some weird blob, and I said, you know, that'll do. It'll be fine. That's something you never want to do in Minecraft. So rule number 1 when building: never ever say, oh, that'll do. That's easy enough, because that just shows you're lazy, and I was being lazy. So yeah, but I fixed it. Instead of that big blob, I got the curved look and I got the flat look with some detail in it, which is what I wanted. But before I just had a blob. Now I fixed that. Looks a whole lot better. I switched the clay out for quartz because I'm not going to have clay with me on the server. But right now, I want to take some screenshots of all of this, and then we'll get started with our topic and building. So, I'll see you on the server. Alright, we're in the Nether right here, and before we go and build it, again, another before, I wanted to show you our little temporary hub. That's where the spawn portal is. It's right by that last torch over there. Mine, and then over there is Triller's. Down here was the original spawn portal thing, but then Nether portals really screw up. But yeah, you can see I have 30 levels, so we're going to do our first enchant. And also, before we do that, let me show you that I got some Nether stuff here. These are from chests in the Nether fortress right here. Got some of this good stuff, and blaze powder. That's what I came for. I went around in the Nether for 2 hours, did not find a single Nether portal. I knew where one was. Nether portal, Nether fortress. I knew where one was, and it was in the middle of a lava lake, and I barely got over there the first time when I got the blaze powders to make the first ender chest on the server. And then I lost the last of my blaze powders, so I had to go get some more. And by the way, we're here. Let me show you another little quick update thing. I'm starting to build the base entrance here. You guys saw in the video. I believe I showed it. I showed it in the Building 101, I think. But this is how far we need to go down so we can finish that little section that I showed you in the video. So that's what I did. It was originally supposed to be over here, but this looks ugly, so we're not going to do that. So we're over here. Now let's make an ender chest, and then we're going to do our first enchant. Alright, here we go. Boom, enchantment table. I had an enchantment table, but someone took it. I know who took it, and they still have it, so yeah. Ooh, Enderman over there. But where should we set this up? Obviously temporary, so boom, right there. And yeah, let's do this. Oh no. Alright, here we go. My first enchantment was a diamond pick, and I got efficiency 4, and that's gone. This one I've just been using. Probably shouldn't have wasted 3 diamonds, but I did. Here we go. What? Oh. Duh. I don't think these affect it. Hopefully they don't. And level 30. So since it's episode 4, let's go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I'm hoping for Silk Touch because I want those packed ice. And efficiency 4. Yes! Exactly. Did I just not call it? That's cool. Okay, so let's get our first packed ice. And packed ice. And I'll tell you what the topic is for today. So let's go for that one. If you guys watched last episode, I said I wanted topics. No one commented a topic. I did recommend some, so maybe that's why. But whatever. It was at the end of the video anyway, the last 2 seconds. But today's topic will be about movies. So we're going to talk about them. Zombie. No. We're going to talk about them, my favorites, top 5 or top 3. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and put some trilogies as one movie. So, yeah. But we're going to talk about them and why I like them so much and why I watch a ton of movies in school as well. So, yep, let me collect this. Compressed ice, yeah, it's not packed anymore. Let me collect this, and I'll meet you at spawn with some supplies, and we'll start building our lodestone. Okay, we are here at spawn. In spawn, okay. If you didn't need to log if you were in the Nether. But spawn, we cut down a whole lot of trees, a lot of floating ones too. So you can see it's very clear. It's almost day, and yeah, everything is really clean and grassy and all that. Whatever. But right now, let's get started on our new project. So, and topic. So, while we do this, we're going to talk about movies, like I said, and my favorites. So, if you guys want to go along and, continue with this topic after this video is done, please put it down in the comments below of what your favorite movies are and what about my movies that you liked. So, yeah. My favorite movie of all time, and this changed. It used to be Forrest Gump. Used to be. And I was debating, because I just saw Forrest Gump for the first time whenever I saw it, like 2 years ago. And then I'm like, oh, this is the best movie, for sure. But then, now, I forgot about one very important movie that I watch over and over and over again. And that's Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie of all time. And now I'm combining it, all three of them, as a movie. You could say that's cheating, I guess, liking 3 movies as your favorite movie. So if I were to say what's my favorite movie of all time out of the Lord of the Rings, is definitely Return of the King. Not definitely, because it has a close second, which is The Fellowship of the Ring. That movie is amazing. Fellowship of the Ring, Return of the King, and The Two Towers. Two Towers would be, I don't want to say my least favorite, even though it would be my third that I would pick. It's still an amazing movie. If I were to rate them, it'd be Return of the King 10 out of 10. Then Fellowship of the Ring 9.9999, and then Two Towers 9.998. That's how I would rate them. That's how good they are. So Lord of the Rings is just an amazing movie. Has the best director of all time working on them, Peter Jackson. He is also working on The Hobbit, which is amazing as well. And now I can't put it up in my ranks yet because the full trilogy isn't finished, but it would definitely be in my top 5 for sure. For sure, it would be in my top 5. Definitely top 3. Definitely. But right now, I would probably go with, I'm going to talk more on Lord of the Rings in a second, but I'll just finish my top 5. And I'm trying to think of this off the top of my head, but it would be Lord of the Rings trilogy, Forrest Gump, and then Star Wars is number 3. And then if I were to say what would be my 4th, I'm going to switch that up. Because now that I'm thinking of it, I really like Star Wars, so I would probably go Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Forrest Gump, and then the top 4 and 5th slot is probably taking for The Hobbit, and maybe another movie, maybe Harry Potter. I don't know, I always like watching Harry Potter. Whenever I'm watching these movies, like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, I'll watch them probably 5 times a year each, because they're just so good. I'll rewatch them. It's very fun to rewatch movies. Some people don't like rewatching movies. I definitely do. I like watching new movies as well. I have this app on my iPhone where I watch a lot of the new movies that are out there. So I get to see a lot of the new movies, I can't wait to see Finding Dory, because Finding Nemo is really good as well. Now, people say Finding Nemo, oh, everyone likes Finding Nemo. You can't say that's one of your favorite, or you can't say, whatever, because everyone likes Finding Nemo. But I like it, so in 2015, when that comes out, that'll be nice. So, yeah, those are my favorite movies by far. Back to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is crazy because of the way it was done. I've seen all the behind the scenes, all the special director's cuts, the extended versions. I've seen everything about that Lord of the Rings movie. It's amazing. You can look up Lord of the Rings behind the scenes, and you will see a lot of cool stuff, like them trying to find the locations to where they want to film, which is crazy. And they filmed Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in New Zealand. New Zealand is amazing for its landscapes, and that's why they did it. So everything you saw in Lord of the Rings that included a landscape in the background was from New Zealand. That's what they did. So I wouldn't mind going there. That'd be pretty cool. So I've seen all the behind the scenes. Even if you want to get a head start on Hobbit, or at least what people did, because Peter Jackson is awesome, and he put... Is this how we're going to do it? 3? I think that might be how we're going to do it. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. That is Jimmy. Don't worry, it won't be all stone. Yeah, I'm just making it all stone rough at the moment. So, back to Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson has his own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Peter Jackson. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And he did a director's diary, something like that, film diary, something like that. And he did him once a month. I believe he's on episode 15 or something, of him just going around with The Hobbit. And it's amazingly edited and everything, how they went to location searching for where they're going to film in New Zealand, how they had to get ready, how all the 3D animations worked, not how they worked, but who did it and who was behind it all the really important people besides the actors in them. But yeah, it's crazy. I keep on saying yeah, because there's just so much to talk about, and it's just unbelievable, and you have to see how they did it for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. If you have Lord of the Rings DVD, I would definitely go and see what that second disc is, or see the little director's cuts that people did. I think I went like this. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Even when they're building the little scenes where the characters are standing, and in the background it's all a green screen, but a lot of that stuff has been built. So Helm's Deep, they built a nice large portion of that, if not the whole thing. They built, I mean, of course it's not all stone, it's all cheap stuff, but it makes it look real. It's not actual stone and wood. Well, yeah, the wood part, but it's not actual stone for Helm's Deep. Edoras, that is where the king of Rohan is. That's their little keep. They built that whole thing off the hilltop. When they went location searching, they found this with the mountains in the background. There was just one hill with wide open plains. Boom, they built a whole city on that, just a tiny little town. So that's really cool to think that they actually built that stuff for the movie. What you're seeing is real. And if you look up YouTube, if you type in on YouTube, you type in Hobbiton tour. Hobbiton is, hopefully I spelled that right, is where the Shire is. They actually have an area in New Zealand where it's where they filmed. In The Hobbit, they rebuilt it with actual materials and cool stuff. They built the whole Shire, and you could go there and visit. I believe the town is actually called that. If not, it's just referred to that name. So they actually built it, and it's really cool to watch the tours. So let me figure out what we're doing here, and we'll cool, finish this new episode. I'll try and get his YouTube link. What is your YouTube channel name again? I'll go into creative and figure out what we got to do next. We'll probably work on the curves. If not the curves, the floor design, because that's going to take a long time. And no, we'll definitely do the curves because that's a lot of off-camera stuff. But next we'll talk about some other good movies. His channel name is Mr. Beast 6000, if you wanted to know. Next up, we'll talk about Star Wars, since that's in my top 3. I don't know if we'll get to Forrest Gump. But Star Wars, great movie. Now it depends on what Star Wars you like. For some people, it depends, actually. I should say that. I like the old ones. I'm one of those people, but I'm one of those people who've seen the newer ones first. So usually when that happens, it's the other way around. I'll like the newer ones. For example, the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie that came out how many years ago? I don't know, 6, 5 with Johnny Depp. I like that one better than the new or the old one. It's because I've seen that one first. So some people would destroy me and they say, no, the other one's a lot better. Which I'm sure I would say the same thing if I saw it first. Now Star Wars, I like both of them. People say the new ones are terrible or bad or a lot worse than well, not like the old ones were bad, but definitely worse than the beginning. I'm looking at a screenshot when I go on my inventory and do nothing. But I think the Star Wars movies, the new ones, are pretty good. And there's even more new ones to come out. So there will be 9 movies, if that's another trilogy that's coming out by Disney, because Disney owns the Star Wars name now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the new Star Wars. If Zac Efron is really going to be in Star Wars, that might just ruin it totally. What was he supposed to be? Han Solo? I don't know if that was a rumor. Oh! I wanted to kill him. I want an Ender Pearl. Is he still there? I don't know what's happening. Let's go. Let's kill him. Come on. Feet. Nope, no Ender Pearl. We get the levels though. Do we have anything to enchant? We do have that. I don't know if there's a enchantment table in there. But the old Star Wars, I like those a lot better. Because one, you have your main characters and they stick with the main characters, whether they're together or apart. It's really cool to see, how they all came together and then they stayed throughout the movie. It's cool how they got the audience of Star Wars to really like. Why are there bookshelves there? To really like the robots in the movie. Like robots were actually people. R2-D2 and C-3PO, how they were together and always talking to each other and cracking jokes how C-3PO is, or how R2-D2 was always being rude and saying stuff to C-3PO. C-3PO translated it and said, "Oh, that's not nice." It's a really fun movie, fun to watch. It's funny. It's has a whole sort of adventure to it. You got the sci-fi action and everything. Now you still get that effect, kind of, with you get the C-3PO effect as well. With, I believe that's how it goes with in the new ones. They all go up. Wait. That one goes up, and then the insides go up. Okay. So it's like this. Alright. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Okay, let's do that. But you still get that effect. You just get to see what happens, how Darth Vader did this, and how Obi-Wan Kenobi did that. That's for the newer ones. which I like the newer ones. I like them a lot. And like I do with Lord of the Rings, I'll watch Star Wars a lot of times throughout the year. I'll have a whole marathon. I like having these movie marathons, and some people as well. I think the whole Harry Potter marathon, if you were to watch all Harry Potter, it'd be around 20-something hours, including Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. So that's pretty cool. So I'll go on a whole Lord of the Rings frenzy for just one day, maybe 2 days, just watch the whole trilogy, have some fun there. So I think you guys should do that too. You'll really appreciate, if you know you've watched a movie, like Lord of the Rings. When I first saw it, it was my cousin who brought it up to me. And I thought, like, oh, this is cool. We started with Two Towers. That's the first one that I saw. But really, all I got out of the movie was just, there's a lot of cool fighting. I didn't get the whole story part. And then we just continued to watch it because we were younger then. And, you know, kids who are 7, they'll like rewatching the same movie. They can watch Finding Nemo 20 times and think they're watching it for the first time ever. At least that's how I was. Like, I was always watching the same episode of SpongeBob over and over because, well, one, no new episodes were coming out because I watched SpongeBob from the dawn of time. So, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Like, we watched it, and we watched it just because of the fighting, how Legolas rode down the stairs in Helm's Deep with the Orcai shield. That was the coolest part. That was my favorite part out of the whole movie. And the Hobbit with Legolas in the Desolation of Smaug. He does some really good fighting, Legolas. He does. It's really cool how they did the fighting in that episode. Alright, what do we do next? We do half slabs and then 2 up. Alright, let's make some half slabs. So then after I watched the Lord of the Rings movies a few times... Oh, he also got me into Star Wars, my cousin, as well. Because he had the old ones. So maybe I did see parts of the old ones. But he had some PS2 games, I think. PS2 or GameCube games of Star Wars. And that was fun. So yeah. I started to appreciate the movies a lot more after I watched them more than once. And that's just the fact with all kinds of movies. So if you've seen Lord of the Rings maybe one time through, watch it again. You'll pick up these things. I go, wow, they really did a good part in that. Like I was saying, how they built some of the scenery in there. Not the scenery, some of the buildings in Lord of the Rings. So you keep a good eye for those things, and you'll love these movies a lot more, and you'll have a lot more respect for them, how they made them. So same thing with Star Wars. You know, after I've seen the whole thing one time, I'll watch it again, and maybe I'll miss a part, or I'll see a part that I missed, and I'll just really enjoy that movie. I can't really explain this so well, so I'm definitely not explaining it that well right now. Just watch movies over and over again, and you'll see what I mean. Alright, I think this goes all the way down. I know I wasn't finished with that one up there, but I think that goes all the way down. Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of weird how I have that there. That is kind of weird. I'm going to leave that open for now. So Star Wars, great movie. If you guys have not seen Star Wars, go ahead. Go ahead and watch that now. Watch it right now. Can I make it up here? Crap. I have to put it up there anyway. So, we got Star Wars covered, we got Forrest Gump. No, we don't have Forrest Gump covered. Forrest Gump is a great movie. You got all the points of history in there from after World War II, after the Korean War at least, and beyond. Where was the last thing that they left off? I think they left off like a president got shot. And at least 4 presidents got shot in that movie. So, yeah, they got a lot of points of history in that movie. And history is a really cool thing to learn about, especially to watch in movies. So Forrest Gump is a nice a nice movie that has all points of history in there. So that's always nice. Alright, let's just leave it like that. I know I did something different here. So boom, boom, boom. So Forrest Gump, I really don't have anything to say other than it's a great movie. You got Tom Hanks, which is one of the best actors I've ever seen. He did movies like Big, You've Got Mail, even though I haven't seen that movie, but I hear it's pretty good. Let's go up here. This will actually be a lot better. I hear that movie's pretty good. So he did Tom Hanks, he did Saving Private Ryan. He did a lot of cool movies, a lot of really good movies. I think he's in that Disney movie. I don't know if it's made by Disney. Probably is, because it has Disney in the movie. But he's in that movie. People said that was good. I didn't see it, and I don't plan to. But it's Tom Hanks, so it has to be good. So, who are you guys? What's your favorite actor? What? Like it's a thing. Is it Tom Hanks? Is it Orlando Bloom? Is it Johnny Depp? Is it whoever? What's your favorite movie? Also, some people will say their favorite movies Batman, The Dark Knight, which is a really good movie. I'll do the same thing with that movie. I'll watch it every so often, and it's just an overall good movie. But a lot of people say that is their favorite movie, and they really don't give a lot of evidence into that. Like Lord of the Rings, I gave all my evidence. Peter Jackson really liked that movie. He really liked the book, the story. He just had a lot of respect for the author, Tolkien, for writing that amazing book and that amazing story, and how heartfelt it was. So overall, that's just my favorite movie and why I like it. People just say Dark Knight because it's good. It's definitely a good movie. I'm not arguing that, but they don't have any points to back it up. And I think there's a lot of better movies out there besides Lord of the Rings being a better movie than that, in my opinion. Definitely a lot of better movies that have done a better job than The Dark Knight has. So if people say, what's your favorite movie? Try and back it up. Then you'll get a lot less people saying, oh, well, this movie's a lot better. So you actually have some reasons to make people shut up. And make people shut up like me if I'm saying, well, Dark Knight isn't that good. So if you back it up with some sort of reasoning why you like it, I know that's kind of just your opinion and you don't need a reason, but I think it's good to, because then you can change people's minds, make them think more about movies and how far people would go to into making a movie. So yeah, just tell me why you like your sort of movie, whether it's The Dark Knight, Lord of the Rings. If you agree with me on some points, put it down in the comments below. But right now, I think that's going to be the end of this video. We finished these 4 things. When you guys come back, I don't know if we'll keep on building this, but you guys know what the finished product is. So I'm going to finish this off camera. Definitely the design on the floor here. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below on something about this topic, maybe a new topic you want me to talk about, some movies that you like, or some movies that you would like me to watch, give a little review on. Go ahead and add that to the comments. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.